Welcome back, FMXperts. Brandy here. Here with me today is one of our very own customer success managers, Jess Sparks. On today's episode of How to Become an FM Expert, we're going to talk about the FMX Transportation module. We've got a lot of great information to share with you, so let's get started. Jess, can you talk to us about some of the reasons customers use the FMX Transportation module?
Yeah, so oftentimes customers have a hard time keeping track of their transportation requests. They'll have a paper system in place, and sometimes those get lost in that approval process. And they also have a hard time keeping track if vehicles and drivers have been double booked on trips. So what's really nice about FMX is that you are able to have an electronic form that users can submit, and then it streamlines your approval processes and allows you to easily assign drivers and vehicles.
That's great. So the transportation request form is very similar to the schedule request form we watched in our last FMXpert video. But what are some of the unique fields that customers tend to add to their transportation form?
Yeah, so if we take a look at this example, we'll be able to see that other than tracking the typical pickup and drop off of a transportation request, customers will track if a trip is overnight, whether or not they will stop for meals, they can upload a class roster, and they can also keep track of chaperones.
Great. So once this request is submitted and it's approved, can you walk us through how to assign drivers and vehicles to a request?
Yeah, of course. So as you can see, this request is pending assignment. If you click here, you can assign a driver and a vehicle to a trip. You can also add multiple drivers and vehicles to a trip if it requires more than one. This allows you to report at the end on mileage for all vehicles that were on that trip.
Great. So oftentimes a trip ticket is required when they get on and off of the bus. Can you show us where we can find the trip ticket and how it can be configured?
Yeah, absolutely. Once a trip has been assigned to a driver and a vehicle, you can find the trip ticket form under these three vertical dots. You can click on the paper or PDF format and it will become available to print. You can also add lines so the drivers can add their signature or record mileage and any other information that you might need. To further configure your trip request, you can go to the admin settings and in the general tab.
Awesome. So when the trip is finished, can you walk us through how we can finalize the time that the trip took place and the mileage for the vehicle?
For sure. Once a trip is completed, the finalization fields will become available. For each vehicle and driver pair, you can record the time and the mileage from the trip. What's really great about this feature is that the mileage is recorded for each vehicle and it can be accessed through the equipment logs. To learn more about managing your vehicles or how you can record vehicle maintenance, feel free to check out our FMXpert videos on vehicle maintenance or on managing your equipment.
Great. So lastly, on to reporting. What are some of the report options available for the transportation module?
Yeah, so when it comes to reporting, dashboards are always the best place to start. So you can see what trips have been submitted and what kinds of trips are being submitted, and you can actually filter down for those in the dashboards as well. And you can also navigate to the transportation module, and in the grid view, you can filter down for whatever you're trying to look at there as well. And then you can export it to a CSV or an Excel file for your own reports.
Awesome. Thanks, Jess. If you'd like to learn more about the FMX Transportation module, you can reach out to your dedicated customer success manager, or you can contact our customer success team at support@gofmx.com. Thanks for watching and see you next time.